Everyone, my name is Yinghao Li. Today I'm going to give a demonstration of Circular Supply Chain project. This demonstration is a blockchain-based material passport management system. Um, so today I'm going to demo it in a wood material use case. As we can see for this diagram, basically, we have a few different roles in the system, including admin, manufacturer, contractor, logistic, and so on. So in the wood scenario, we only choose these three components or three different type of users: the manufacturer, the contractor, and the logistic. And our system is using access control mechanism to manage the access of all these users to use this system. And each of them will hold a wallet which represents their blockchain wallet, which includes public key and private key. So they can use the public key and private key to log into the system. So first, I'm going to log in with the admin user and add all these three company or three users into the system. So we go back to the implementation and we use a predefined admin account. So I already record the uh, password, username and password, which is also a blockchain wallet address. And when logging, it will communicate with the blockchain and log into the system. So here is how the system looks like. We have the dashboard. Currently, we just leave it empty. And we have the material passport, which will show the recorded material passport on the blockchain. And also the artifact represent the product we're going to construct in this wood supply chain. And now I'm going to match the users. So because I'm logging with the admin user, so I can use the personal center to create different users. So right now I will create a user and then add the user to this account. And now I will leave it back to add uh, this one. So this is our manufacturer. We'll copy it here and then select the role of the manufacturer and register. So here we are. We now have one user, which is the manufacturer, and I'm going to add the logistic and also the contractor as well. So I create and use this account as the, I think, transport register, and also add this one as the contractor register. Okay, here we are. Now we have three different roles: the manufacturer, the logistic, which is also transport, and the contractor, which represents the end user, which is the building in the wood use supply chain scenario. Now I'm going to log in, log out from the admin, and log in with the manufacturer account, which is using the public key as the username and also the private key as the password when logging. So here we are. Now we are logging to the manufacturer account. And from the manufacturers, we can see from this simplified use case diagram. For the manufacturer, they are responsible to create the new material passport, which is from this page. We already have a predefined role in the blockchain, which is the test manufacturer and the test certificate. So it's just showing how the UI looks like. And now I'm going to create a new material passport. So now we can click the create button. And the manufacturer, we can call it maybe wood, and new manufacturer. And certificate, we can give it the wood certificate, certification. And then the manufacture date, we can select, sorry, we can select any date this piece of wood is manufactured. So maybe it will be yesterday. And then the expected lifespan, we can give it perhaps 10 days, just for example. So the end of life will be 20th June. Then I click create. Okay. Okay, here we are. We have a new role, which is the new material passport just created by this manufacturer. And we can also edit it and delete this role if they don't want it. So now, based on the architecture design, we are actually going to push this piece of data to the IPFS and get the material passport hash, which will be a unique identifier to represent this piece of material passport. So we click the push and wait for the response from IPFS. Okay, here we are. So from the IPFS, they will return a unique identifier, which is the MP hash, to represent this piece of material passport. And we also have a get the material passport from the hash. So this is just a place for you to query if you have a huge amount of material passport in the blockchain. So you can, if you know the material passport hash, you can directly query this piece of information, this material passport information from the UI. So we can try that. Just copy this and then paste it here, query it. Here we are. So this is the one we just created. As we can see, if the user just go inside the material passport page, we have some notification happening here, which represents they are actually communicated with the blockchain. So it's waiting for the result from blockchain. And after they get the information from blockchain, we will have a pass notification, which represents you already get information from the blockchain. If there's some connection issue or if you met any problem from the blockchain, then we also have a fail notification to represent you got some error actually. So after push the material passport to the IPFS, you actually can't do anything about deleting because it's already on the distributed file system and also it's on the blockchain as well, so you can't actually delete it. The way you want to update it is you can create a new material passport if you want. So if you click the delete, it will show some notification as well. You can't delete it because it's already pushed to the IPFS, which is already there. You can't actually do anything to just remove it. So this is also a secure way to secure the to make it secure of the material passport and make it more transparent because everybody want to edit it actually will be recorded. So after the manufacturer creates the material passport, as we can see, they may want to just deliver it from the transport company to the end user, which is the building in this case, so which is the contract constructor we just added. So now they can move to the artifact. Okay, we're also waiting for the response. Actually, it's no data because there's no product is created. So now we will create a new product. We just click create and paste the uh, material passport hash, which is the unique identifier of the material passport, and then set the status. So currently it will be installed because it's just manufactured. So we just create it's kind of initialization to initialize the artifact, and we create it. Sorry. Okay, we'll communicate with the blockchain. Okay, here we are. So this is the recording of the artifact we just created. As we can see, the status is install, and the modified time is actually today. And when we click this, it will show more information about that. Let's say the keyring owner, which actually is representing the manufacturer, and also because it's an initialized block, so there's no previous transaction hash and no previous block hash. And if we are going, sorry, if we are going to transfer ownership to the transport, so we just click the transfer ownership, and because this field you can actually edit it, but the owner account you can't just edit it. So you will definitely copy the transport account here and then set the states to on transit. So that means you just move this material passport, this artifact to this user with this states, and we just submit it. Okay, transfer success. Now we wait for the response. Now we can see there's no artifact in the current manufacturer account because it's already transferred to the transport account. So now we will log out from this account and then log in with the transport account, which is here. When we log in, okay, and from the material passport field, they can see we have two pieces of material passport, and in artifact, okay, here we are. You can see this is the material passport we just created by the manufacturer, and the state is updated to on transit, which means it's on this transportation stage. And then the creation time is today as well, and also the current owner, which is representing the transport account. And the previous transaction hash is the one can link to the previous block. So you can just trace it back to the old history of this piece of material passport or this piece of um, artifact. You can just trace it back one by one and get all the history of these things. And here we can also see, click here, you can see the previous owner, which is this one, and then the previous hash, previous transaction hash and previous blockchain hash is the initialized one. So, and after the transport, we can also transfer it to the constructor. So it will be the same thing. We just transfer to it, and then we will update the states to in use. And if we submit it, and it will disappear from the transportation account and appeared in the end user, the client account. So if we just log out from here and then log in to the end user account, you will see the updated artifact. Okay, here we are. So we can see this is in use, and the current owner is also updated, and the previous transaction is also can be used to trace it back to the history of this artifact. So now if we go into the manufacturer, go into try this again, and if we can see from this diagram, after the use and repairing, so it may be returned recycled or kind of reused item from the end user building one back to the manufacturer. So maybe they're going to recycle it or remanufacture it. So it's the right time to for the manufacturer to create a new piece of material passport. So they will also create a new one, which can be wood manufacturer and certificate. So this time they may under the recycling certification, perhaps just for example, and the manufacture date uh, will be today, and maybe it can last uh, maybe 20 days, just for example. So it will goes to at the end of life will goes to no 31st of July and create it. So here we are. So they're actually adding one more piece of material passport. And this material passport represents the recycling wood material. And it also can be pushed to IPFS. And also it can also be used in future constructor, can be created uh, a new artifact and move it to the transport and also move it to a new constructor. It's all based on how the scenario is. And if we go back to the admin account, which is this one, yeah, so just save the password, which is easier. And we can manage, so from the from admin, they can manage to delete different roles. So if we trace it back to this access control mechanism, the admin actually holds the right to add and remove different roles in the whole system. So if they perhaps remove the manufacturer, so when they delete it, yeah, then the manufacturer, which is Charles, actually can't be logging because they don't have the certificate. When we click login, you can see invalid credential. So that means they are actually removed from this system. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thank you, everyone.